what are the items that you have to record here? Discount received, commission received, interest on investment, share transfer fees. So then you will get your total income. So depreciation means what? Decrease in the value of fixed asset, that is tangible fixed asset. Whereas amortization, decrease in the value of intangible fixed assets. Now already you have learned few of the concepts, like you know this format because you had it in your second PUC, but if not, you are going to learn here. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysore. My dear students, today I am going to discuss your second session of Unit 3, and the Unit 3 name is Final Accounts of Joint Stock Company. And this is for second sem BBA students of Mysore University under the subject Financial Accounting and Reporting. So already in your previous sessions, we had a brief introduction as well as meaning of financial statement of a joint stock company. So in today's session, I am going to discuss about the format. So in order to, and it is a very important question for 15 marks. So in order to get this 15 marks, first of all, we have to know the format of final accounts of joint stock company. So let us begin the session here. So first, what we have to prepare? So for 15 marks, so what they will ask for 15 marks? So they'll ask you to prepare the statement of profit and loss as per Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013, as well as balance sheet of a joint stock company as per Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. Now let us see the whole format in this particular session where you are going to learn in detail. So under each and every headings as well as subheadings, so what you have to record. So just go through this particular session so that you will get a clear idea so how you have to solve a problem. In my next session, we shall start discussing with the problem. In this particular session, I am going to discuss only about the format of statement of profit and loss as well as balance sheet with the respective notes. So we have to prepare a proper note for each and every transactions or the accounts or what we are going to prepare in your final account. So we have to prepare a necessary note for it. Okay, so let us begin with it. So this is a format of statement of profit and loss. So here we are going to prepare as per the vertical form. So we are going to prepare the vertical form of statement of profit and loss as well as balance sheet, and it is prescribed by Companies Act 2013. Okay, so what are the final accounts we have to prepare here? Statement of profit and loss as well as balance sheet. So this would be the format. So the statement of profit and loss, so it is given under Schedule 3 Part 2 of Companies Act 2013. So this will be the format, statement of profit and loss for the year ending. So here you will write the date. Okay, so what would be the year ending? 31st March 2024 or 31st March 2023. You will write the year ending date. Next, your columns required are particulars, note number, figure as at the end of the current accounting or reporting period, figure as at the end of previous reporting period. Okay, so you will start your statement of profit and loss with revenue from operations. Now, what do I mean by revenue from operations? So, it is nothing but your sales. Okay, so let us see what is a note that I have to prepare for revenue from operation. Yes, so revenue from operation. So, how do you calculate? So, this is a note for revenue from operation. So, revenue from operation minus sales return. So, revenue from operation is nothing but your sales. So, sales minus sales return, then you will get your net revenue from operation or net sales. So, this is how you have to prepare a note. So, after preparing the note, whatever the amount you get here, so that you have to record here and you have to write the number, note number 1, and you will write the amount in the amount column. Okay. In the same way, the second one is other income. So, revenue from operation is the first one, second is other income. Now, let us see what are the items that has to be recorded under other income. Other income in the sense easy to identify, anything which is received. So, that would be an income for the company. So, that you have to record under other income. Now, other incomes. So, this is note number 2. So, what are the items that you have to record here? discount received, commission received, interest on investment, share transfer fees. So then you will get your total income. So it depends upon the problem. Suppose if they have not given all the 4, so whatever they have given, you have to record or you have to prepare a necessary note, and whatever the amount you get here, you have to record in your statement of profit and loss. Okay, so other income, you will write the note number here and you will write the amount. Next, third one is total revenue or total income. So how do you get total revenue or total income? 1 plus 2. Okay, so when you add these two amount, whatever you have written in your amount column, you have to record in your total revenue. Next, fourth is expenses. So under expenses, we have cost of material consumed. Okay, so let us see whether we have necessary note for it. Yes, cost of material consumed. So where you are going to record your open inventory of material, which means opening stock, add purchase of material minus closing stock of material. Then you will get what? Cost of material consumed. Okay, so this is a note for cost of material consumed. Next is after cost of material consumed, purchase of stock in trade. Okay, so let us see whether what note we have to prepare here. Purchase of stock in trade. So your note will be purchases of stock minus purchase return. It's nothing but purchases minus purchase return. So you'll get net purchase. So this amount you have to record in your statement of profit and loss by writing your note. That is purchase of stock in trade. Next, changes in inventories of finished goods, work in progress and stock in trade. So let us see a necessary note for it. Yes, purchase of stock in trade is done. Next, changes in inventories. So how do you calculate changes in inventories? Opening stock minus closing stock. Then you'll get changes in inventories. So this amount you have to record in your statement of profit and loss. After changes in inventories of finished goods, work in progress. So depending upon the question what they have given, opening stock minus closing stock, you'll get changes in inventories. Next is employee benefit expenses. Normally you will get a note for it. So anything related to employees. So that has to be recorded under employee benefit expenses. So let us see the note for it. Yes. So we have wages, salaries, provident fund, leave encashment or any other benefits which is given to the employees comes under employee benefit expenses. So this total you have to record in your statement of profit and loss. After employee benefit expenses, next is financial cost, or we can call it as finance cost. So normally finance cost we will have interest as well as dividend as finance cost. So let us see the note for it. Yes, finance cost, interest expenses like interest paid on debentures, interest paid on term loan, interest paid on overdraft, other borrowing cost or any other dividend which is being paid. So everything comes under finance cost. So this total you have to record in your statement of profit and loss. After finance cost, so we have depreciation and amortization. Normally in the adjustment they'll give you the depreciation. So depreciation means what? Decrease in the value of fixed asset, that is tangible fixed asset. Whereas amortization, decrease in the value of intangible fixed assets like goodwill written off, that comes under amortization. Okay, so depreciation on fixed asset. So let us see what is a note that we have to prepare here. Yes, depreciation and amortization expenses, we have depreciation, cost of tangible fixed assets written off. Whereas amortization, cost of intangible fixed asset written off such as goodwill written off, patents written off, computer software amortized, etc. So that comes under what? This depreciation as well as amortization. Next, coming to the next one, so we have other expenses. So other than that, any expenses, so like rent, so these are expenses that comes under other expenses. So let us see the list or note of other expenses. So other expenses, we have freight charges, carriage inward, carriage outward, general expenses, directors fees, electricity charges, power, bad debts plus new RBD minus old RBD. So you know already how we have to record in your statement of profit and loss. So how we have to treat our RBD. So bad debts plus new RBD minus old RBD or any other expenses that comes under the note other expenses. So this total you have to record in your statement of profit and loss. Next, after other expenses, Then we will get total expenses. So how do you get total expenses? So you have to add all the expenses. So till here we have to add all the expenses, then we'll get total expenses. Hope you are clear. Next, profit before tax. So how do you get profit before tax? This income, total revenue minus your total expenses. So whatever the amount you get here, so you have to minus that. That is total revenue minus total expenses. So you'll get profit before tax. Next, sixth one is tax expense. So you have to deduct tax expense. Profit before tax minus tax, you'll get profit after tax. Okay, so profit before tax minus tax expenses, so you'll get profit after tax. So for profit after tax, so you have to deduct transfer to reserve. So they might give in the question, rupees 20,000 is to be transferred to reserve. Then you have to minus from profit after tax minus proposed dividend. And one more you have to add here, that is if there is any surplus which is given that of previous year, like profit and loss appropriation account of previous year or profit of previous year, so you have to add, then you will get net surplus. So hope you are clear about the format. So how do you start with the revenue from operation, which means that sales. So sales minus sales return, you will get revenue from operation. Other income, anything which is been received, that comes under other income. When you add these two, you will get total income. Next, expenses, cost of material consumed, we have purchase of stock in trade, which means that purchases, changes in inventory of finished goods, work in progress, as well as stock in trade. Employee benefit expenses, anything related to employees comes under employee benefit expenses. Next, finance cost. So normally you have finance cost like interest as well as dividend, which is paid on shares as well as debentures as well as loan, that comes under finance cost. Next, depreciation and amortization expenses. Depreciation is calculated on tangible fixed asset, whereas amortization on intangible fixed assets. Other expenses like carriage inward, carriage outward, rent, tax, any other expenses, that comes under other expenses. When you add all these, you will get total expenses. Next, we have profit before tax. So how do you get profit before tax? Total revenue minus total expenses, you'll get profit before tax, less tax expenses, then you will get profit after tax. When you minus 5 minus 6, you will get profit after tax. So you have to minus transfer to reserve and proposed dividend, and you have to add if there is any surplus of previous year, that you have to add, so that you will get net surplus. Okay, so hope you are clear about statement of profit and loss along with the notes. Now coming to the next part, that is format of balance sheet. So this is given under schedule 3 of part 1 under Companies Act 2013. So we'll write the heading balance sheet as it. So we'll write the date when we are going to prepare the balance sheet, that is normally as well as usually at the end of the financial year. Now already you have learned few of the concepts, like you know this format because you had it in your second PUC, but if not, you are going to learn here. Okay, so your columns are same particulars, note number, figure at the end of current reporting period and figure at the end of previous reporting period. Now how do you start with? So you'll start with equity and liabilities. Under equity and liabilities, we have first one, shareholders fund. Under shareholders fund, we have share capital, reserves and surplus, money received against share warrants. So for this, a proper note is not required. So for share capital as well as reserves and surplus. So let us see the note for it. Yes, share capital. So this is how you have to prepare a note. So authorized capital, then we have issued capital, then subscribed capital less calls in arrears, add share forfeited account. So normally you will have these adjustment in your problems, like subscribed capital less calls in arrears, add share forfeited account. So this total you have to write along with the note number. So depending upon the problem, you will prepare a note and you will write the note number in the note number column and you will write this amount, that is the total amount in your balance sheet. So hope you are clear about share capital. Coming to your reserves and surplus, any reserves or any surplus that comes under reserves and surplus. So let us see what we have or whether we have a proper note for it. Yes, we have capital reserve, capital redemption reserve, security premium reserve, debenture redemption reserve, revaluation reserve. Any reserve or any surplus that comes under reserves and surplus should be recorded in your balance sheet. Okay, so hope you are clear about it. This total you will record in your balance sheet. After reserves and surplus, money received against share warrant, as I told you, you don't have a proper necessary note. Next, share application money pending allotment, for this also. Next, non-current liability. Third one is non-current liability, where we have long-term borrowings. Normally, we have long-term borrowings like debentures, bonds, which is there for the longer period. Okay, so let us see whether we have a note for it. Yes, long-term borrowings. We have bonds, debentures and long-term loans. Anything which is longer term, so those liabilities are called as what? Long-term borrowings. So that comes under long-term or non-current liabilities. Yes, long-term borrowings. Next, deferred tax liabilities. So deferred tax liabilities, so you don't have a proper necessary note for it, for deferred tax liabilities. So long-term borrowings, here also you can record provision for employee benefits, provision for warrant claims, provision for gratuity, provision for earned leave. So this also comes here, that is long-term provisions. Next, other long-term liabilities. So let us see what we have a proper necessary note for it. Long-term provisions. So these are comes under non-current liabilities. Coming to your current liability, we have short-term borrowings, trade payables, other current liabilities as well as short-term provisions. So this comes under short-term borrowings. So hope you are clear about the liability part. So we will start with equity and liabilities. Under that, first one, shareholders fund. Under that, A, share capital, B, reserves and surplus, C, money received against share warrants. Second is share application money pending allotment. Third one is non-current liability. Under non-current liability, we have long-term borrowings, deferred tax liabilities, other long-term liabilities, long-term provisions. Next, current liability, we have short-term borrowings, which is there for the shorter period. Long-term in the sense more than 1 year or more than 12 months. So those liabilities are considered as long-term. Short-term in the sense less than 12 months or less than 1 year. They are considered as short-term. So we have short-term borrowings, trade payables. So under trade payables, we have bills payable as well as creditors. So bills payable as well as creditors, that comes under trade payables. Other current liability, short-term provisions. Then you will get the total. Now coming to your asset part, so we have Roman number 2 assets. Under that we have non-current assets. Later on we shall see the respective note. Now let us see the format. So non-current asset, we have fixed asset. So under fixed asset, we have tangible assets, intangible asset, capital work in progress, intangible asset under development. Usually in the question, they'll give you these two. That is, the under fixed asset, we have tangible as well as intangible assets. Okay, so we have to be careful with the tangible assets and intangible assets. Wherever we have depreciation, we have to deduct that depreciation. Next is non-current investments. B is non-current investment. A was fixed asset. B non-current investment. Next, C deferred tax asset. D long-term loans and advances. So suppose if the loan is more than 1 year or 12 months, they are considered as what? Long-term loans and advances. That is the company which has been given, not the company which has borrowed. Borrowed comes under liability. The company which has given to the outsider, that comes under assets. Other non-current assets. So you can write any other non-current assets depending upon the problem. Next, coming to the second part, current assets. So under current assets, we have current investments, inventories, which means stock, then trade receivables. So under trade receivable, we have bills receivable plus debtors. So that comes under trade receivables, cash and cash equivalents. So cash in hand, cash at banks, those comes under cash and cash equivalents. Short-term loans and advances. So if the loan has been provided by the company to the outsiders, that is where the repayable period is less than 12 months, that comes under short-term loans and advances, other current liabilities. So when you total, the total of liabilities should be equal to, the total of liability should be equal to total of assets. Okay, so this is the format of balance sheet. Now let us see the notes. So share capital, we are done with it. Reserves and surplus. We have gone through it. Long-term borrowings. These are the necessary notes what you have to prepare for your 15 marks. Okay, so it's all depends upon the question where you have to prepare the necessary notes. So my dear students, in today's session, we have learnt about the format of statement of profit and loss as well as balance sheet and few of the notes. So depending upon the question, we have to prepare a note. So here few of the notes I have given for your reference. So if you learn the format, it is very easy to solve the 15 marks problem. See you all in my next session with a new concept. Till then, take care. Thank you.